And if something doesn't, it really comes down to your time, right? If something's sucking all your time, you got to just ask yourself, is that worth it? Is whatever is sucking all my time worth? If you're making enough money off that client, then it's probably worth it, right? But if you're not, if it's that client that's constantly complaining, constantly nitpicking hours, and constantly saying you're doing a bad job, wouldn't you rather spend your time on somebody else?
Yeah.
That wants to be a partner and wants to listen to your advice and, really respects all the, so think about that, because usually the answers are already there in your head. It's just coming to terms with it and then making that hard decision of, we are going to cut that off and this is what we're going to do instead.
Brad, it's almost like you know how to run an agency and you're getting these questions, segueing these questions perfectly for this conversation.
I've never seen these before. So that's amazing.
So the next slide that I have, because I too I've sort of built these slides based off of my experience and just like the things I thought of over a decade. And another big challenge too is like how much of this business still depends on me. And if you're in the audience and you kind of want to raise your hand and say, yes, I still struggle with this, I'd love to see that feedback, because this part is not easy. And I think, Brad, this better than a lot of people in the WordPress space, is balancing, like, I'm in the business, I am like project manager, I'm like making sure like the code being deployed is the code that I want to represent our brand and our business, to then graduating year after year to, okay, I'm running this business. Like, I don't write code, I evaluate contracts, right? I help hire the right people, I do the taxes, I talk to my lawyers, like all of that bigger,
I don't write code, I write paychecks, right?
I don't write code, I write paychecks. That's a great one. You should put that on a t-shirt. Do you have a way to, like, is this something you still struggle with, of how much of this business still depends on me? And do you have advice for people to like graduate out of this?
I mean, that's a great question, right? And to your point, there's been multiple kind of iterations throughout my career here at WebDev and being an owner that has evolved, right? Because you're right, originally I was building the websites, as me and Brian back in the day, and we were just building websites. So that's what we did. We were developers and started WebDev, and let's just start building websites and selling them, right? So, but at a certain point, definitely came that decision of, I had to kind of take a step back and evaluate my role at the company and decide, am I a developer, or am I going to step back from that and lead this company and grow this company? And it took me a while. It's not like this easy thing that clicks one day and you're like, oh yeah, I got to stop writing code, right? It's not as easy as that, right? Because it's the reason I got in this business, because I'm passionate about, I like coding. I like building things, with software. I like, I'm a geek. I like geeking out on stuff. So that's a hard thing to come to terms with, of I'm not the guy anymore, but I also knew that everybody there that was building websites were better than me at the time, right? They were better than me because that's what we hired them to do fully. I'm doing that plus, like you said, all the other stuff. So once I also took a step back and said, okay, everyone here is better than me at writing code. I do need to take a step back and stop doing it. So once I kind of came to terms with that, then honestly, it's almost like this internal struggle that is freeing, because it's like, okay, I don't have to be that guy anymore. I can still help out here and there. I still have a developer mindset. I can still get into the weeds and help my team in other ways, but I don't necessarily have to be writing the code or shipping it, right? So, but it is something everyone's got to figure out.